it is so good to see you. Oh my gosh. I feel like it's been way too long since we've been able to see each other, right? How have you been? Oh, that's so good to hear. And by the way, congratulations on this Valentine's Day date. I mean, this is huge. You've had such a huge crush on them for forever. I am so, so happy for you. And honestly, I am so honored that you chose me to help you pick out the eye look that you're gonna do for Valentine's Day. I mean, that's huge, right? I feel special. But don't worry, I'm gonna make you feel super special today too, because honestly, this isn't about me. This is all about you and your big day. So we're gonna get you so pumped. I made the mistake once of leaving the decision of my eye look until the last day. Can you imagine, like an hour before I was supposed to be out the door, I was still trying to decide what kind of a vibe I wanted, which is absolutely absurd. And we are not going to be in that position. No, we're not, because we are going to plan ahead and we are going to nail this vibe, okay? All right. So, with Valentine's Day, there's so many different choices of the kind of look that we want to put out into the world. So are we looking for something that is soft and romantic? Or are we looking for something that's sultry and sexy? Are we looking for a statement? Are we looking for subtlety? Those are all the kinds of things that we want to discover today. So I have 2 palettes. I've narrowed it down. Out of all of my makeup palettes, I want to show you 2 that I think offer the most variety that we can really play with. I appreciate that you already sent me the outfit choice. I was really able to hone in on the tones that I think would work best with your outfit. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is not my decision. It's all about you. So I have various options. You just sit back and relax, and I am going to show them off to you. All right, I will show them off to you. So let me go ahead and get my first palette, and I'm sure you can guess which one it is. I mean, how could I not bring up Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance, right? And their packaging, I mean, Anastasia Beverly Hills always hits it out of the park, right? When it comes to their incredible packaging. This, like, can you think of a palette that's more iconic than this one, especially for Valentine's Day? I mean, I think not. But it's very important that I share this because usually when you think of modern Renaissance, like you open this bad boy up. Let's go ahead and take a look together, okay? So you open this bad boy up and immediately where do your eyes go? I mean, obviously to these berry tones, right? I mean, we live Love Letter, Venetian Red. I mean, they are iconic colors from this palette. But there's a lot of versatility here, you know? You don't just have to go for those statement colors, even though we totally can. Again, if that's the vibe you want, that's the vibe you're gonna get, okay? So we can go for more of a statement with some of these colors taking up more real estate on those eyes, or we can go a little bit softer. I mean, the pairing of Vermeer and Bone Fresco with a little bit of this antique, I think it's called, antique bronze, or like on the outer corners. I mean, that can create such a beautiful, subtle look, romantic, flirty, feminine. I mean, stunning, right? Or again, we can go full bad bitch and do a statement eye with Love Letter, with red Venetian. Maybe we can use Vermeer as like an inner corner highlight. I mean, we can go the full 9 yards if you want. Another thing you can do with this, though, you don't have to go for the pinks. There are a lot of really great colors. I mean, I think this is such an awesome palette even just for warm tones. I mean, you have these beautiful colors like raw sienna, burnt orange. I mean, even golden ochre is such a unique color. It's like, it's very rare that you get like a tone as light as this, but being a little bit on the yellower side. I feel like that's such a unique color, and I'm honestly so blown away that Anastasia had the brains to think of such an incredible color story like this. And then of course we can't forget this stunning deep chocolate brown that is Cypress Umber. I mean, such a cute name. So if we wanted, we can just stay totally neutral, even no pink tones at all, really sort of be out of the box here, right? There's so much versatility in this palette. So we can definitely keep this one in mind, okay? But I also wanted to show you my other favorite palette that was also pretty popular back in the day, but I feel like it didn't quite gain the iconic status of modern Renaissance. So I want to pull it out. Okay. Ta-da! It is the Tartlette in Bloom palette by Miss Tarte. Oh my gosh, I absolutely love the packaging on this guy. I mean, have you ever seen something more beautiful? Let's go ahead and open her up, okay? Awesome. So what I love about this palette right here is the way that it's organized. I mean, it's brilliant. So you have these three rows, and then each column is like, it gets progressively darker. So we start off with our lightest shades in this first column, and we end with the darkest ones in the last column. And of course, my favorite row in all the world is this last one, especially for these rosier vibes that we're thinking of going with. This row is to die for. But again, this is yet another palette where the rosy vibes aren't the only vibes. We have these like beautiful, like cooler toned, it's like a cooler toned gray up here. We have this more neutral, like smoky brown over here. I mean, this palette is so incredibly versatile. So whenever I'm feeling like a simple, flirty, romantic look, I'm definitely going to reach for this row down here, especially since they're just laid out so easily. It's so easy to know exactly where everything goes. But I'll tell you a little secret. I'm okay with Funny Girl, which is like the shimmery color here, but I actually don't like this one as much as I like Vermeer from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. That's that like pearly pinky color in that palette. And so a lot of times what I do is I'm a little bit of a rebel, you know. I don't like to follow the rules. So instead of just limiting myself to one palette, I will use colors from this palette. I will use colors from other palettes. One that I don't even have here for us is that Makeup Geek Manny MUA collab from years back. And I use specifically the shimmery color Luna from that. I mean, talk about to die for. It's that Makeup Geek foiled shadow. Absolutely stunning. So I'll use that with this bottom row. I'll use Vermeer from the Modern Renaissance palette. So I love to mix and match personally. But if we're just keeping it simple, we're just reaching for one, this tends to be the row that I go for. So I know I've talked about these different vibes that we can get together. So what are you really feeling? Are we feeling more sexy? Are we feeling more innocent, flirtatious? What are we feeling? Okay. I love that. I love that idea. Okay, so since your dress is a little bit more of a statement, you're thinking of maybe a more relaxed face, your eye look is going to be a little bit more understated. Maybe the focus isn't even going to be the eye. It's going to be your rosy cheeks, your little cherub mouth. I love that vibe for you. And I know that today we're just focusing on the eyes. So we can talk about blush and all that later on. Today we are just picking out the vibe for your eyes, okay? So we're looking a little bit more understated. We want something flirtatious that's gonna open up your eyes, give you that real doe-eyed look, right? Okay, yeah, girl, I'm feeling that. Okay, cool. So I think what I want to do personally, I really want to do the mixing thing, okay? I have the perfect look in mind. I kind of mentioned it earlier. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to get out both of these palettes and let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a sample, okay? Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and do this sample eye for you, okay? So you know that I'm a big fan of priming with your concealer. So did you bring your concealer with you? Okay, great, thanks. So I just got your concealer here. Is it okay if I touch your face with my hands? Just because I really feel like concealer, it tends to warm up with the fingers a little bit better and blend better. Okay, is that okay? I washed my hands, everything's clean, I promise. Okay, great. So I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of concealer on my ring finger. And we use the ring finger because, of course, it's the weakest finger. We're applying the least amount of pressure. Okay, we don't want to hurt your beautiful eyes, okay? So we're just going to prime you real quick. I'm gonna get close here as well, and I'm just going to prime your beautiful, beautiful eyelids. Okay, that looks about good. We're in a good place, okay? We're in a good place. Awesome. So, what I like to do next is I either set the concealer with a powder, like a face powder, or I'll set it with a color that's close to your skin tone in one of the palettes that I'm going to use. So basically I use an eyeshadow that's close to the color of your skin. So I didn't actually bring a face powder since we are focusing on the eyes today, but I will go ahead and get one of these eyeshadows and just set it for you, okay? Alright, so I'm just going to grab this color that's close to your skin tone and I'm just going to get in here and set. Okay, and then let me get some more of that color and I'm just going to go in and set. I actually find that like the patting motions helps it set better than swiping motions, because then you're really working the shadow or the powder into the liquid and you're really setting it down, making sure that it is bulletproof, honey, okay? So, since we are going for that romantic, subtle, flirty look, I'm gonna start with the Tartlette in Bloom palette, okay? This stunning piece of work here with this favorite row of mine, of course. And we're gonna go in first with Sweetheart. So this is like this lighter pinky color. So I'm just gonna grab some of that on my fluffy brush. So this is a Sigma tapered blending brush, an E35 for the Sigma line. And I'm just gonna grab some of Sweetheart and I'm just gonna put it up here, sort of like the transition area of your eye, okay? So right above the crease, this is where I'm putting it. And we want to make sure that we're blowing it out. We don't want any harsh lines, okay? We don't want any harsh lines. So I'm just blowing it out up here. And set your primer beforehand is that it's really easy for this shadow to cling to the primer if we don't set it first. And sometimes that can be a good thing, like if you're looking for like a really statement eye with a lot of angles, with a lot of like harsh lines which look beautiful, then you know that's the vibe you want, then absolutely just pat in the color and it turns super vibrant. But for this, I mean, we just want that beautiful blown out gorgeous look. So we're just blowing it out over here, making sure that it is nice and blended. Okay, cool. So now I'm gonna move on to the other eye, get a little bit more of Sweetheart on my Sigma E35, and then we're gonna go in with the other eye. Okay, so we're gonna put the then I do the little buffing, blending, bluffing, blending, buffing, blending, buff, 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 buff. We're gonna buff this out. Okay, so now I'm gonna sort of see if the shape that I've made on both sides looks about the same. Let me look over here. Yeah, I mean, it looks great. Let's see. Yeah, I think it looks pretty even. The brows. Yes. Okay. Okay, it looks awesome, let me tell you. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna get a different brush. These kind of like fluffier brushes are awesome for blending, but I more so enjoy them for less precise work. So I hardly ever use this in the crease unless I'm, you know, walking out the house and I just want like a little bit of definition in the crease. Then I might use it for that. But typically I'll use this kind of brush in like the transition area. Okay, so let me go ahead and get the crease brush that I'm going to use on you. Okay, so I've got my crease brush here, and this one's actually from ColourPop. That they came out with this kind of brush many years ago. It's probably like 3 or 4 years ago that they came out with this. Anyway, what I love about this blending brush is that it's still nice and fluffy. So you're gonna get that blendy bit, but it's also tapered, like it's flatter. I don't know if you can really see that. Yeah, you can see it on this side where it's like, it's just a little flatter here. So I really like this kind of a brush, for that crease area because it's just a little bit more tapered, a little bit more precise, while still being nice and fluffy to get to that beautiful blend, okay? So again, this is not for like cut creases. This isn't really for precision work either. We just want that beautiful, soft look that we're going for. So I'm gonna dip this brush into Rebel, which is like our mid-tone here. And I'm just going to put some of Rebel in your crease. Yes, crease. And when I'm using the crease brush, I'm actually not afraid of the swiping motions. I'm not buffing in this area as much because I want to make sure that we're being more precise, that we're following the shape of your eye here, okay? So I'm just getting up close and I'm just going to swipe into this crease area, okay? Just swiping into the crease, And I'm also going to make sure that it's like not angling down too much because we don't want to drag your eye down. We want to make sure that we're still making the eyes nice and open and beautiful. So I'm not necessarily angling it up either, but I'm just making sure that we're ending at around where your eye ends. Like if you were to draw a line between like the end of your eye to the end of your brow, like I'm gonna try to end where that line would be, if that makes sense, right? So again, we're just being a little more precise with this area than we were before. Alright, so let's move on to the next eye. I'm gonna get some more of Rebel here, and let's go and let's do the little swiping motions on this eye. Swipe. Again, making sure that we're making that angle with the eye give me a second. So what I'm going to do now is actually I'm going to start working on the outer corner of your eye. I know a lot of people like to do like the lighter to dark, but I actually prefer working darker to light when it comes to the lid. And the reason for that is I think there is a better blend when you work dark to light. So right here what I have is a Sephora brush. It's a Sephora Pro small shadow brush, number 15. What I love about this is that it's like nice and flat, so you're able to pack on the shadow, but it still offers like some fluff. So if you want, so it's not just gonna give you like really harsh lines that you can't then blend out. Like a more flat synthetic brush, that's more for like really packing on color. This is gonna give you color, but also blend it out a little bit as you're applying it, okay? So I'm gonna go in and take a little bit of leader, okay? And I'm just going to create a little bit of an elongated look on the corner of your eyes with this darker shade, okay? So I'm just gonna start over here and just like really try to follow that angle that we were talking about from the corner of the eye to the corner of the eyebrow, okay? So we're just gonna make this little line up here. Just gonna make it not too precise. Like we don't want it to be a harsh line necessarily, but we just want it to more or less follow that pattern, okay? And then I'm going to take a little bit more and start going into like the inner corners of those eyes and probably take it in about like a quarter of the way into the lid space, okay? So I'm gonna pack on the color a little bit more. And this is where it's actually beneficial to have two brushes on hand, so I will actually go back and forth between like packing on the color over here, and before like it gets too set in its ways, I'll like go in and I'll try to buff it out on the edges as well, just to make sure that we're not getting any harsh lines here. So you just keep on going back and forth until you get like the level of blend that you are interested in, okay? That looks so cute. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and do the other eye. So we're gonna get leader, which again is this darkest color in this row, and we're going to make that little line from the edge of the eye to the eyebrow, okay? And again, we're like blowing it out, so it's just there for guidance, and then we'll go ahead and blend it as we go, so it's not a harsh line. Just blend. Gonna get a little bit more, and then start packing that shadow into the lid as well. Again, about a third of the way in, okay? I like going a little further versus not far enough, because we're going to cover it up. We're gonna cover up part of it with like the all over lid shade. Alright, and so now I'm gonna go back to this other brush, and I'm just gonna make sure that we're blending it out. Blend onto the lid, and I think that looks perfect. Okay, and so now here is where the magic really happens. So we're gonna say thank you to Tarte and to the Tartlette in Bloom palette, and now we're gonna move back over to Miss Anastasia's palette. Alright, and so now for the star of the show, we're gonna be using Vermeer. I know I talked it up so much before. We're going to be using it on your eye. So we could definitely use a brush if that's what you want. Like I have some flat packing brushes that we can use, synthetic. Definitely can do that. But I really love for shimmers personally. I love using my fingers. Again, I think the oils from the fingers just make it glide on and really shine. It's most beautifulest. So is that okay? Like, can we use my fingers? Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and dip into Vermeer and just make sure that you close your eyes a little bit, okay? for your brush. So this is that crease brush that we used earlier, and we can use one of the darker, well, the darker color, so Leader, or if you really wanted to blend it even more, you can go for Rebel, which is that more medium toned one, and you just make sure that you can go over it a little bit. Sometimes what I'll do is I won't even add the additional color. I'll just like try to blend out the lighter color on top and see how far it goes. And if we do take away too much of the dark, then I will go back with the dark. So let's just try that. Blend, 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 blend. And over here we go blend, 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 blend. Oh my gosh, this eye look is already looking so cute. But I don't want to show you yet because it's truly always like the last step that makes or break an eye look, and that is of course liner and mascara. So let's talk a little bit about the vibe that you want for those. So I have two options for you when it comes to eyeliner. Well, I guess three options for you. One is you don't wear any at all. You just truly do like the doughiest of eyes. Maybe we can do like a little brightening moment in the waterline. So then there's no liner at all, which, you know, is a choice. I think we can pump it up a little bit with the liner though. So the other suggestion that I have is if we want like a really soft look, again, to go in with the softer look that we've already done, you can actually use like a brown, like a darker brown, as like a darker brown eyeshadow specifically, and do the liner without a pencil, without liquid or anything, and just go in with a little bit of shadow to just line that lash line. And I really think that it's gonna make your lashes look so luscious, absolutely gorgeous. The other option though, like if we really wanted to make your eyes stand out, even though the shadow itself is really soft and feminine, we can do like a liner moment, you know, like do a winged liner look, which I think would also look beautiful. And again, the only thing it could do is really draw attention to your eyes, which is like, I mean, what else do you want but for your date to look deeply into those beautiful eyes of yours, right? So which one would you prefer? That softer look, or would you want that more statement liner without being too crazy? I mean, we're still keeping these eyes soft, but like that classic wing. Okay, like your head's where my head's at. Okay, great. So I'm also feeling the liner. Don't worry, like I am such a pro at this point. So there are a few options. We can do pencil liner, we can do liquid, which might be a little harsh, or we can do sort of like the best of both worlds, which is gel liner. Gel liner it is. Okay, so here is my gel liner. Isn't this like the cutest gel liner you've ever seen in your life? It's so cute. It's called The Ink, which is like the best name for it, and it's by Pretty Vulgar. That brand, they like were a thing for a while, and I feel like they've dropped off the face of the earth, but they make this really cute inkwell gel liner. And then over here I have like this angled liner brush, also by Sephora. It's a Sephora Pro brush, and it's called the Bent Liner for eyeliner precision. It's number 23. So I'm going to use this combo, and I'm going to give you like a subtle but eye-catching wing eyeliner moment. Okay, so let's open this guy up. Okay, look in there. I mean, of course you can't see it, but what I love about this packaging is that it like the seal is really good. So one of my problems with gel liner in the past has been that like it dries way too quickly, right? But this one, because it has that like nice seal, like it closes all the way, it actually doesn't go dry. had this baby probably like 2 years, maybe even 3, and it has not gone bad. Like, it still glides on beautifully. So let me get some of this and just relax your eye. Just get the smallest little bit, and I'm just gonna go in here and line. I think eyeliner really depends on your eye shape. Some people love like the full line from like the inner corner to the outer corner. I personally tend to not do that. I love my line to taper off at around the midpoint of my eye and go out. I feel like it opens my eyes more. So it's very important that you're not just following what the beauty gurus are saying, but you take some time to get to know what looks most flattering on your eyes. So let's go ahead. Okay, so your eye's doing that. Okay, so and I think the best way for eyeliner to go is, again, following that line we've been talking about. So I'm gonna follow that angle, and the great thing is that we've already mapped it out, kind of, right? So I'm just gonna do that. It's kind of foolproof. Just gonna flick, 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 flick. Then we're just gonna bring it in here. Just make sure that we're filling that up. Okay, and now we're getting the other's eye. I know, just like that, right? So we're gonna go here to this little area. Like that. And voila, you have beautiful, beautiful eyeliner, okay? So I'm just going to put the cap back on this guy, and then we will do the final touches. Okay. Alright, boo. So the last thing that we need to decide on are lashes. So the biggest question here is falsies or no falsies. The pros of falsies, of course, are they make your lashes look so long and glamorous. But I think the downside is that if we don't make sure that they're on like rock solid, they can start to peel off during the date, which, oh my god, can you imagine something more embarrassing than that? Like, the last thing we want is to have your lashes peeling off, because that's totally going to distract from the rest of your gorgeous, gorgeous face, okay? But as long as we can make sure that they're on, they can look really beautiful and glamorous and long. And, I mean, false lashes look beautiful, especially when we can make them, we can disguise them and make them seem natural. What are you feeling? Because then if we do like individual lashes, that takes 5 million years to do. So what are your thoughts? Okay, yeah, I mean, it's hard to decide because we want these long, gorgeous, lashes, but we don't necessarily want to deal with the hassle, you know, of the falsies. I actually got a mascara recently that I absolutely love, and I think it's kind of the best of both worlds. It'll give you these long, beautiful lashes that totally look like you're wearing falsies, but you're not. All right, let me show them to you. This mascara has worked wonders for my lashes personally. I really feel like it makes them look like I have falsies on. They're so long and beautiful. So how does this sound? Sound good? Awesome. So even with the most beautiful mascara in the world, I still definitely think it's worth it to curl those lashes, because that's really what's gonna make them look sky high, sky high, sky high. I know, the little contraption is fun. What I love about this particular eyelash curler, it's not like those ones that like pinch you. This one, it's like when you close it, that's it. Like, that's where it closes. Where the other one, like, you have to do it a little further away because otherwise it pinches you. This one, you do not have that problem. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just try to relax. Okay, try to relax, try to relax, try to relax, try to relax. I'm just gonna go in and get these lashes curled, okay? Like, I promise I'm not going to pinch you. It's not gonna hurt, okay? So just try to relax. Alright, let's go. 2, 3, and release. Gorgeous. Okay, and now let's go over here. Lovely, okay? Your lashes are reaching for the gods. Okay, so now let's put on this mascara, shall we? Let's go in and swipe, swipe, swipe. How do you feel about bottom lash mascara, by the way? Okay, maybe not for this vibe. I do like it, but I definitely think it has to go. I have to be in the mood for it, you know? So maybe that's something you decide day of. You're like, okay, I want the bottom mascara. For today, we'll just do the top. Okay. Let me get a little bit more. Okay. Swipe, 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 swipe. Alrighty. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry a little bit. Oh my goodness. I mean, your eyes look amazing. Truly beautiful. Yeah, I know, like, sometimes it's a vibe to smoke out the bottom. You can definitely do that. But I love the vibe. Like, it's just innocent and flirty. I feel like when it's just the top and you leave that under eye area a little bit more free, relaxed. It's very youthful, you know? I think you look absolutely beautiful. I hope you love it. Your date is going to lose their minds. Truly, truly. I'm so honored that I could be part of this process with you. Oh my gosh. And don't worry, like, if you want to make any edits to this, we can totally keep talking. I mean, there's still time before your date. And I mean, we have to decide on like blush and lips and all that too. So definitely there's going to be a lot of time for like any edits, anything we want to play with before this date, okay? And so the day of, I know you are going to look like a rock star. Oh my gosh, they're not going to even know what hit them. Thank you so much for coming. Oh my gosh. Let's sit down and catch up, okay?